Hey everyone, welcome to Social Studies. We're going to think about what we learned yesterday in Social Studies by playing a little game. So let's play this or that, and why. So as I display some questions for you, I want you to try to guess what the answer would be based off of what we learned yesterday. Statement number 1. The Articles of Confederation formed a blank government. Well, did they form a strong government by the Articles of Confederation, or did they form a weak government? If you said number 2, yes, the Articles of Confederation formed a weak government. Very good. Statement number 2, the colonists wanted to blank a government with a strong tyrannical leader. Did they want to avoid a government with strong tyrannical leader, or did they want to create a government with a strong tyrannical leader? Think about King George. Did they like that, or did they not like that? If you said avoid, you are right. The colonists wanted to avoid a government with a strong tyrannical leader. Remember, avoid means to stay away, keep from happening. Number 3, this new government was blank for running the new country. So for right now, what do we know about the government and how they have started running it? Is it effective, meaning is it working, or is it ineffective, not working so much? That's right. With the Articles of Confederation, the new government was ineffective for running the new country. It just wasn't working yet. So that was pretty fun, right? You got to guess some answers, and hopefully you were able to remember what we learned yesterday. Good job, guys. So in our previous lesson, we discovered that America was a young nation that had many weaknesses with their new set of laws called the Articles of Confederation. Remember, that was our first constitution. Today I'm going to teach you about a very important meeting called the Constitutional Convention. We also learn about several leaders that attended this meeting and helped to create a new government that was stronger and gave the national government more power to do what they needed to be done for the people. So in May of 1787, representatives from each of the states met in Philadelphia and decided not to change or edit the Articles of Confederation, but instead write a new constitution or set of laws. The men that came to create this new set of laws are called framers of the Constitution. The major leaders were men you may already know about: Benjamin Franklin, James Madison, and George Washington. Some very important guys that came to help us out again. So what really happened at this meeting called the Constitutional Convention? Well, let's read to find out. The Constitutional Convention, meeting for a change. It soon became clear that the Articles of Confederation gave too much power to states and not enough power to the national government. In May of 1787, men came from each of the states to Philadelphia for a meeting to create an entirely new form of government called the Constitution, which is what we have today, and you've heard that before. At this important meeting, framers of the Constitution such as Benjamin Franklin, James Madison, and George Washington debated, shared ideas, and listened to the many different ideas for this new set of laws and form of government. The framers of the Constitution did not agree on everything, but George Washington was chosen as president of the convention to keep delegates on task and preside over the convention. Delegates were the different representatives. Delegates is just another word for representative. A major challenge that was heavily argued over was how states would be represented in Congress. Small states and large states had very different opinions of how they should be represented. In the chart below, we're going to read about the different plans that were created to solve the problem of states' rights. Remember, each state wanted to have their own laws, and you could probably guess that that's probably not a very good idea. Having different laws in every state would be very confusing. So let's check out the different plans that they thought of, and you see if you think they're good or bad. The Virginia Plan. James Madison is known as the father of the Constitution because he was the main author. Cool fact. He created the Virginia Plan, which gave large states with higher populations more representatives in the government. So in other words, if you had a large state and you had a lot of people in it, you got more representatives in the government. He felt that larger states should get more representation since there were more people to represent. His plan was not very popular with people of smaller states, as you can probably guess. The New Jersey Plan. Small states with smaller populations wanted equal representation. So the smaller states are thinking, well, I don't care if you have more people in your state. I have less. We should still be equal. The New Jersey Plan called for each state to have one vote. These men believed that no state should overpower another, which is a pretty good idea, but the big states still didn't like that. Well, then comes the Great Compromise. Benjamin Franklin helped create a plan known as the Great Compromise. Being the oldest delegate, he was able to inspire other framers, such as Madison, and help to write the Constitution. The Great Compromise was the new plan that would create two houses in Congress instead of just one, the House of Representatives and a Senate. The House of Representatives gave each state representatives according to population. So the House of Representatives said, okay, it depends on how big your state is. That's how many people you have to represent us in government. But then the Senate gives each state two representatives, an equal amount for all states. So it looks like they combined the Virginia Plan and the New Jersey Plan to make the Great Compromise. So that way they have two houses in Congress and they get more votes to be able to have representatives from each state. Sounds like a pretty good plan, and it sounds like Benjamin Franklin is on his A game. So today your task is going to be checking out each of the plans, the Virginia Plan, the New Jersey Plan, and the Great Compromise. And you're going to think about what were some obstacles and solutions for each. Think about the issue of states' rights. Why was it not that good of an idea to have each state have their own rules? And then over on the right side, under the solutions, summarize the ideas of each plan that was created to solve that issue of each state having their own rules. The Virginia Plan came up with its own ideas, New Jersey Plan had its own, and then the Great Compromise was the final compromise for both of those. How did they all help the idea of states' rights and each state thinking they needed to have their own laws? Have a good time filling out your chart. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher. And we will see you tomorrow for another great plan or day of social studies. Bye, guys.